Hey there, it's Dr. Jim. Thanks for stopping whatever you're doing and watching this video because I have something very interesting that I've been looking into for a long time as a gerontologist. I'm very concerned with the mental health of older adults. Of course, the physical health, spiritual, financial health, and all those other things. But in particular, mental health can be greatly affected as we age if we're isolated, if we don't have a lot of meaning and purpose in our lives, if we're not functionally independent. There are so many factors and variables that affect our life satisfaction and our quality of life later in life. But I will tell you one thing that really does make a very powerful and negative impact on mental health among older adults. One word: loneliness. Loneliness is a major, major problem in the lives of older adults and seniors throughout our country and around the world. And it can, by itself, loneliness, lead to a lot of other cascading types of effects in terms of depression, anxiety, and a decline in mental functioning and health status. So our population here in the United States among seniors is growing. It's going to continue to grow for decades. And there are many concerns about the mental health conditions of older adults in our country and around the world. Depression and anxiety, without a doubt, are the two most common psychiatric mental health issues among the rest of the population, to be quite frank, but especially among seniors and older adults later in life. So depression, anxiety, quality of life, independence, they can all be negatively affected by loneliness. Okay, so let's look at depression. Feelings of sadness and guilt, fatigue, loss of enjoyment or interest in quality of life activities can be somewhat common among older adults. Others may experience biological symptoms like depression, sleep deprivation, appetite disturbance, and those can also be associated with helplessness, hopelessness, negative self-image, poor self-care, just to name a few things. But it's very well known that depression among older adults is heavily influenced by their health status, by chronic pain, lack of family, social support, and a decline in cognitive abilities. But all of these can really be affected by loneliness. And let's not forget, in later life, there is a concept. It's not a new concept in gerontology, but it's gaining new awareness, and it's called death anxiety. Death anxiety. And this has a very powerful influence on mental health through the mediating effects of loneliness as well. So end of life feelings, emotions, thoughts, they could be more than just unpleasant. I don't like to think about these things either. And for some individuals, death anxiety might be very mild. Hey, we're all going to die. There's only one way out of here, so on and so forth. For others, moderate. They don't like to think about it. It creates uneasy feelings. And there are people who absolutely dread the thought of dying. So severity of such experiences accompanied by loneliness. So you have death anxiety plus loneliness. What do you think that leads to? More depression, more mental health problems, low life expectancy, very poor quality of life. So loneliness and mental health, they unfortunately go hand in hand. They influence one another. And the distance, though, between desired interpersonal relationships and the actual relationships that an older person has really captures the concept of loneliness. Where I want to be with my relationships versus where I actually am equals loneliness. Whether the adult is living in their own home in the community, if they're in a skilled nursing home, an assisted living facility, it does appear that loneliness is rather pervasive it's associated with a lot of risks in physical health, mental health, quality of life, self care. All of these things can be impacted. So it's very good to know for us, if you are in healthcare, senior care, so on and so forth, you may have elderly parents or family members. Watching for signs of loneliness, talking about loneliness, understanding that its impact can be very great on depression, anxiety, and so many other things is very important. And there's a lot of things that you can do to help. So I'm Dr. Jim Collins, and I guess I'm being very heartfelt when I say if you know someone who's older, they don't necessarily have to be older, but if you know people who are older and they're lonely, be aware that they're probably suffering, and there are ways that you can help them to not be lonely. Thank you so much for taking some time to watch the video. I appreciate it. And if you're a licensed healthcare professional who's looking for some great continuing education, we've got it. And we are always working on brand new, fresh content for you. So you can find the link to the website in the description and keep coming back for more information. I hope to see you soon.